Yo, what's good, people? We back at it for another episode of What's the Word with LJ Mentor Podcast. As always, I'm your host with the most, LJ. Back in here for another week. You know what it is by now. I appreciate anybody who's been listening to me, rocking during this time, and you know, we keeping it going. I ain't have an episode last week. Had some things going on, but yeah, we back in here. We continue to flow. And don't. In case y'all forgot, we still up in here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we gonna keep this thing going. And yeah, it's just it's an interesting week too. And it's a lot of things I'm actually really excited about this week. Um, so so the word of the week this week is going to be nostalgia. Now, I've used word of the weeks before more than once, but that's okay because if it relates to what I'm talking about, I'm gonna use it again. So, yeah, word of the week this week is nostalgia for a few reasons, and like I said, there's a lot of things I'm really excited about this week. And this really paying homage, I think, too, was great to certain eras, you know. Um, and I know, especially nowadays, it's a generational gap between, you know, music, mainly music, but even in sports somewhat, because, you know, they say some sports are soft now. Um, so bigger penalties on players and older people saying music, you can't understand it, don't make sense. It's a generational thing, but it don't have to be, because I appreciate some new shit too, but it's some shit, yeah, that I think is better in certain eras. Um, what I'm trying to get at. So let me start with this. Um, I'm excited for Space Jam 2. Or the official title of the movie, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Um, if you don't know, a lot of people I'm sure know that the first Space Jam came out in the 90s, starring the GOAT, who a lot of people consider, I think he's the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Uh, First guy to do it in a movie like that in the NBA, first player to do it. And now Space Jam: A New Legacy is coming out this Friday, featuring LeBron James. And I know he spoke about it recently, trying to fulfill the shoes, because those are some big shoes to fill. Not literally, because I don't know the shoe size difference between LeBron and Jordan. I don't know the difference, but big shoes to fill as far as the big star that MJ was, and just not just in NBA but globally. Like when he was playing in the '90s, and Michael Jordan was the biggest thing in the world. Especially with Space Jam, which was a great movie. Um, I've seen it. I can't count how many times I've seen it. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with this. The little clips and trailers I've seen, them talking messed to LeBron, the Looney Tunes with Bugs Bunny and all of that. My first thought was, obviously I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm like, man, Bugs would never talk to MJ like that. Just with certain things that they were saying in certain pictures and team moments, it looks like the little trailers I've seen. But again, like I said, you gotta see the movie to get the full context, see how that scene played out. But and it's all, and LeBron has been compared to Jordan since his career. He's openly admitted that's who he looked up to, like I'm sure damn near every NBA player at this point. But yeah, LeBron is a great within his own right. He's definitely, to me, one of the two greatest basketball players ever. So I think if anybody's going to be successor of Space Jam, it has to be LeBron. It couldn't be anybody else. It had to be LeBron. If anybody was going to do it had to be LeBron. So, with that said, I know there's some comments about like the change appearance of Lola Bunny, the girl, because she was like a kind of pictured as like a sexy, curvy little. Even though she's a cartoon character, she had boobs or whatever. And I guess this new movie kind of took that away. I know there's been some things. They took Pepe Le Pew out because of allegations. I guess in the Me Too era, he doesn't fit the movie. I guess I don't know. Honestly, to be real, I think it's really fucking dumb that they took Pepe Le Pew out, cartoon character. I thought it was stupid to take him out, but anyway. But yeah, I know there's been some things, there's been a lot of build up, but yeah, this weekend is finally coming out. You can go see it in the theaters, or if you got HBO Max, go and go see it. Um, I'm not encouraging anybody to illegally, because I know some people like to do their own thing, watch it their own way or whatever. But not encouraging that. But hey, do what you got to do. But yeah, I'm excited about it to see it this Friday. So yeah, that's I think it's gonna be really good. I'm looking forward to seeing the sort of direction they go in. Um, and it's nostalgic because it's paying homage to obviously the Space Jam one. Um, and from what I heard, the soundtrack is gonna be interesting. And the trailer paid homage to the kind of had like their own little spin on the original theme song for the movie. They put his own spin on it with this movie. Um, Seen the trailer with Porky trying to be a rapper in one of the scenes where he's Piggy Smalls, Notorious P.I.G., where he's and they playing and then on that scene they're playing the Craig Mack instrumental "Flavor in Your Ear." Biggie is actually on the remix, if you know that song. But they're playing that instrumental. Biggie and Porky Pig has his own raps, which is interesting. They feature him as a rapper. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of interesting scenes they've shown. That's gonna be in this movie. I know the concept is LeBron. I guess his son got captured and he has to rescue his son, and he's recruiting the Looney Tunes to help him win a basketball game. Yeah, very different kind of the reverse thing with when at Space Jam 1, because Jordan didn't recruit them. The Looney Tunes recruited Jordan because they was going to be enslaved by the guy who ran the Monstars or whatever. They were going to be enslaved by him. And what else to do but recruit the best player in the game, Michael Jordan. So they, if you've seen that movie, he was playing golf, and then they took him down the golf hole. He ended up in Looney Tune land, basically. But yeah, this is kind of the reverse thing, it seems like, where instead of the Looney Tunes searching him out, LeBron is searching them out. That's what it seemed like. But obviously, like I said, I still got to see the movie. But it's an interesting concept, and I know it's produced by Ryan Coogler, one of the great directors nowadays. I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be getting close to that era of John Singleton as far as great black, not just black directors, but I would love to pay homage, especially to black directors, black people running the show and in film industry. But I think as far as greatness, I think he's gonna be in that realm. Obviously, he's taking a different path. He's did the Black Panther movie. He's done the Creed movies with Michael B. Jordan, along with some other stuff he's done with him. But yeah, he's getting the reins now of a lot of great stuff. So it's great to see him a part of this as well. But yeah, this. I think this is gonna be a blockbuster. This is gonna be another hit. We can't. I know people, including myself, we love to hold on to nostalgia, and when it's a sequel to something, especially like after 20-something years, it's been 20. Space Jam 1 came out in 1996. It's 2021. It's almost 25 years since the first one came out, and when it's that huge of a gap, or even a sequel period, you kind of competing with that in a way, because people looking at the first one, they gonna compare like, oh, Jordan. People probably gonna say, oh, Jordan did this, or but why is Bugs doing that? Or people gonna critique it like that. Probably, I could see it, but he's gonna let LeBron do his own thing on this one, and but yeah, that's how it is with nostalgia, because I know, especially like with and I know people will go crazy over these comic movies, especially Marvel, because I'm a Marvel head. I prefer Marvel over DC. But I know people go crazy over that. Um, Avi was tripping about some of the Spider-Man movies. They're like, why you got Spider-Man looking like that? That's not how it was in the comic books. People go crazy over that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this Space Jam New Legacy. So yeah, go check that out Friday. That's gonna be good. Um, another so yeah. Now I want to get into next is also paying stop to nostalgia. Paying homage to nostalgia, I think, is this new this limited series on Netflix, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, right? Um, I grew up a Resident Evil head. Resident Evil, I love it. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. Um, Capcom, the company that makes it, is my favorite video game company of all time. Um, but yeah, this series, I didn't know what to expect from it. I watched the because there's 4 episodes of it on Netflix. Came out last week on the 8th. Um, it's interesting because this actually takes place in the past in 2006. If anybody listening has ever followed like the games or whatever, because Resident Evil, they've had a bunch of big time movies too, which I honestly didn't really care for the movies too much because I'm like, who the hell is this Alice girl? She was never in any of the games. I'm like, who is she? So, and she was like the main character. And some of the movies that feature some of the main characters in the games are in some of the movies, and they just don't play. They play a very kind of not a crucial role as they should, and that really annoyed me. But I know Capcom didn't make that because I don't think they make actual movies like that. But I know Capcom was a part of making this limited series on Netflix, and it's a CGI animation series. Now, Resident Evil, they've done other animations in the past that's non-canon, but this series is actually canon to the game story, which is interesting. First thing when I saw it, kind of blew me away was the graphics of it, because there was times where they were shooting faraway scenes, and it was almost hard to tell whether it was actually real or actual like graphic animation. So they did a very solid job, I think, on the CGI graphics. It looks great. There was times where looked absolutely real. Now the setting is in DC. There's a zombie outbreak. Not gonna give too much away in case anybody want to go see it, but just give a little bit of info, my take on it. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. Like I said, the first thing that blew me away was the CGI graphics. I thought that was amazing how they did that. But the overall plot, yeah, go check it out for yourself and see if you're a Resident Evil fan like I am. But me, I thought it should have been longer. But then as I watched like the third to the end, I'm like, yeah, this probably was long enough because I don't know, the overall plot I don't think was strong enough to go longer. It was great to see two of my favorite characters back, Leon and Claire, because they were missing in action, I think, for a long time as far as the canon story goes. And if you follow the games, because this actually takes place in 2006, and these two haven't actually seen each other since the Resident Evil 2 canon, which took place in 1998. Leon and Claire, the two main characters of that game, haven't actually seen each other since then. So yeah, so 8 years passed since they actually saw each other. And I was wondering during this time, where was Ada Wong? Because anytime Leon is there, Ada Wong shows up. She wasn't in part of this. Neither was Wesker. Wesker dead, the canon story, but during this time period where it took place, he was still alive. So, who's one of the main antagonist of the overall story and the overall plot of Resident Evil with the T virus and the whole government conspiracy of Resident Evil. And this kind of plays into that as far as the conspiracy and the virus and the outbreak of what takes place in DC. So they kind of touch on that. It pays homage to Resident Evil 4, sort of, with the U.S. president, because Resident Evil 4, the main objective was to rescue the president's daughter. The daughter isn't actually in this series, but yeah, it pays homage to that. But overall, the main thing I take away from it is like I love the graphics of it, and there were some cool moments to see Leon. But overall, I was it's alright. Like it's not trash. It's just alright. Like I wasn't blown away by the story, the action. Like it was just okay. I didn't think it was great. At first, the first episode watching it, I was like, oh man, there's only 4 episodes. It should be longer. But by the time I got to the 4th episode, I'm like, yeah, this didn't need to go any longer because, yeah, this wasn't, I think, a strong enough plot. I don't think outside of Leon and Claire, there's not really too many characters that really stood out to me other than the Leon and Claire. Nobody else. I mean, there was a girl in there, but another girl in there. But yeah, there's nobody really that was, I think, stood out too much. I mean, I remember the characters in there, but yeah, other than Leon and Claire, who are obviously the main characters, there was no returning characters from any of the games either, other than them. I was a little disappointed about that, but overall, yeah, I wasn't blown away by it. It was good, not great. So yeah, but it wasn't bad. It was kind of dope to see how they handled the graphics, and I'd love to see more because I know Capcom have done for anime as well with the Devil May Cry series. I thought that was great. But this series, this little 4-episode series, it was cool. It was cool, but yeah, it's alright. It ain't nothing to write home about. Like, oh shit, like yo, did you see that? It ain't nothing to say like, yo, you gotta watch that Resident Evil Infinite Darkfix, son. That shit is crazy. It ain't nothing like that. But it's, if you get to it, you get to it. That's how I look at it. It's cool. Check it out. I thought it was alright, nothing special though. That's how I look at it. But another thing, paying homage to the past. Because when I first heard about it, I was excited about it, but I didn't know what to expect from it. And I don't really talk about games too much on this podcast, but it's kind of related to it because I talk about shows or whatever. But yeah, I thought this was interesting how they did that. And I wouldn't mind seeing more of it. Maybe not that direction, maybe as far as the plot, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more of it. Capcom doesn't do that too often, but every once in a while I notice they'll do stuff like that. But shout out to Capcom for that. Now, keeping in theme with kind of video games, like I said, I don't talk about it too much on here, but I just want to touch on this real quick because it's on to the theme, my word of the week of nostalgia. Excuse me. Is new DLC dropping for if anybody listening is a gamer as well. I grew up playing Streets of Rage as a kid, and the video game actually released last year, but this week, tomorrow actually, they're dropping some DLC with real homage to the past, called Mr. X's Nightmare. So looks like some levels from the past, so just a whole big thing of nostalgia. So yeah, I mean, it's some exciting stuff going on this week. A lot of things coming on this week. Yeah, that's paying homage to that. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick because keep it to the theme of nostalgia. I know over the last few years they've had A lot of remasters of different things. Um, they've had trilogies of different things, but yeah, this new it's a brand new game, but paying homage to the past. Yeah, I just want to touch on that. But yeah, the last thing I'm gonna touch on before I get up out of here is this was particular series that I've been waiting on. I'm really excited about this. Premieres on Sunday, the 18th. I'm talking about Powerbook III, Raising Kanan. Now, if you follow this TV show Power, that's the first series, and they've had spin-offs. There's gonna be 4 spin-offs. They've already had the first season of Powerbook II, their first spin-off, and this is the second one coming up. Powerbook 3 comes on the first episode this Sunday. Now, the reason why this falls under nostalgia because it takes place in the 90s, and if you see like a trailer, it's got some old school, like they playing song from Tribe Called Quest's first album. I thought that was dope in the trailer because this obviously she has that whole 90s feel, of that. But and even if you look at some of the pictures they took, like it kind of looks like an old school camera took. I don't know how they got it. Yeah, they got it like that, but looks like it was taken with like a Kodak camera or Polaroid or something like that. And I think they try to get that look on purpose, because it takes place in the 90s. Now, obviously, the style, the outfits from that whole era looks like it's going to be taking place in this show because it looks like they got the whole era down. A lot of people, including myself, I think the 90s was kind of the golden era of a lot of different things. I think the sports was probably at its, definitely music-wise. I think even fashion was pretty dope back then too. In the 90s. Now things got a little tighter, which is cool, but not too tight for skinny jeans. But things got a little, but yeah, things was cool back then. I know they had the mid 90s. They had it was big on the Versace and the Coogee sweaters and all that. That's something Biggie, Pac used to rock. But yeah. In the late 80s, early 90s, they had the Coogee hats, the boom boxes around, and the big Cuban link chains and all of that. So yeah, that's kind of dope. They paying homage to the 90s. Now, this is if you know the Kanan character from Power, who's played by 50 Cent. One of my biggest inspirations in entertainment. I think 50 is, he's one of my favorite people in entertainment. But yeah, it's taking place in the 90s, so it's gonna be a younger guy playing him, because it's the younger version of Kanan, his character from Power. But yeah, that's interesting to see how. I can't wait to see how that turnabout, and they got his mom running the show before Kanan take over. So yeah, and they've already shown a few characters from the original show, younger versions of them. So yeah, it's real interesting to see how this gonna play out because I can't wait, man. All new cast, obviously. Then the originals, it's because it's take place in the 90s. But yeah, I'm gonna be paying homage to that, and I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to it. But yeah, it's been a real week of nostalgia. A lot of there's new stuff coming out, but it's paying homage obviously to the past, obviously. And sometimes we need to reflect, not dwell on it, but sometimes we need to reflect on different things, not just entertainment, but you personally, it's your own life. Sometimes you look at, because things you've been through shape who you are. And so you need to look at your past to see, not, like I said, not dwell on it, but look to see where you're going. Um, so yeah, it's a nice time to look at that. And then you just keep it going, keep it pushing, keep it moving, keep out here grinding, keep hustling, keep it going. Um, but yeah, that's all right. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Real nostalgic week. A lot of things I'm excited about because I like nostalgia. I like new shit too, but I love the nostalgia. But yeah. So yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. That's it for me this week. Yeah. So I'm out.